Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, September 2, 2024, little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday night, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about timing on when things are going to take place and what that means to the people of the planet, and especially in this country. You can look at observation from your perspective, your observation, not judgment. And you see two existences. One is the body. And you observe the body and how it operates and runs, and it never lies. And then you see the God, the pure consciousness, a powerfully supreme being that never dies. And those are two different existences. Now, since most of us, just about all of us on this planet, have not communed with the God that we are on a continual basis knowingly, we look at these two existences and then we say, well, I'm the body. I haven't been taught anything else. I don't know anything about that spirituality stuff. Right? It's true. Most of us don't. So we kind of wing it. You've done that before, haven't you? You wing it. And we wing it here and we wing it there. And, sometimes it's good, works out, and other times kind of bumpy. But when we look at the fact, when you look at from that perspective, outside, observing, right, it gives you a much more comprehensible comparison that, okay, so I'm not the body, but the body carries the God that I am around. And why does it do that? Because it's material physical. Yeah, but isn't that an illusion? It's not real. No. Well, how the heck does that happen? How is it created? How do we do that? Why do we do it? Us gods. Why do we, why do we pretend to be the body? Now, some people believe that they're the body. That's it. When you leave no, there's nothing after the body. That's it. And there's people that believe that. That's it. You don't go anywhere. You don't go to the other side. You don't go to heaven. That's it. It's over. And it's all because we've been taught certain things different times. We've had many different lifetimes. And believe it or not, see, we carry the memory of all our lifetimes. But there's a wall there blocking us from accessing it. Well, why? What's the block? We haven't discovered fully who and what we are. Once you commune with the God that you are in that body, and you acclimate to that, and then you say, well, okay, I'm going to watch my ego so I can master my ego. So I'm going to leave my ego mind alone, and then I'm going to watch it outside so I can see how it operates. And then I begin to, when I get these thoughts that come in, I start to realize that thought's not my thought. That's coming from the ego mind. That's why we get over 60,000 thoughts a day, keep playing over and over again. You start to gravitate and you start to identify these thoughts that come in. Whereas before, majority of people on this planet embrace those thoughts. They take them in, they give them energy, and they experience them in their reality. See? And you realize an awareness that these aren't my thoughts, I'm not going to engage them. You know, a lot of us will take those clouds out of the sky, us being the sky, and we'll pull them in randomly because we believe they're our thoughts, and they're not. So, but this is all a good thing because you're identifying stuff which we all are immersed in. And when you're too deep into something, and I think everybody on this call knows that, you get too deep into it, you lose perspective. You lose any kind of comprehensible information. You're too deep in it. You know, if you're working in something, right, and you're completely dedicated to it, and you're focused on it, right, and after a while, there's no differentiation. That's it. And you find yourself not being able to step out of it because it's so compelling for you. And this is interesting. As a quote from Osho is that the more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God. And I get this question a lot. You know, you want to tell me what enlightenment is. What the heck is it? And I've talked about this before. You know, what is it? Is it some kind of an award when you become aware enough? And it's real simple. You realize again and again and again how to remain non-identified with your ego. So it's a state that you choose to be in, and it's a pure seeing and comprehending how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. So we're moving, some of us on the planet, we're moving to intimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened, that which is the God, the pure consciousness, the God source, creator source, heaven. Now this is the only true path to total freedom that there is. You're not going to find it out there. Many have tried, efforted, but it's not out there. Because all the other paths that many of us choose lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. We simply experience ourselves as the essence of consciousness that we naturally are. It's our natural state of being. It gets kind of confusing for some people. It's not, it's understandable. And see, the ego is who we think we are. Most, not everybody, on this planet, they believe they're the ego. And does that have some truth to it? Yeah. Yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a very minute, small truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love. Trust, right? Expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness, which means all of us. The feeling that we have is that we're all one. And once you embrace and comprehend the fact, and you say, well, ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we are living in trust, which means ourselves first, 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom, all the knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings throughout eternity. We step into the greatest experiences of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. Remember, I'm sure you've heard in this lifetime alone that, you know, your destiny is etched in stone. You can't change it. And that's crap. Okay? You can change. You're the master of your destiny. We are all masters of our destiny. And see, and we will, when we know our real true nature, really true, when we really do, we can allow life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, float, and enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by this life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. And this state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. And when we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. This is a great, I've read this quote before from Osho, but the moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on your heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight or almost no weight at all. So weightless, one becomes, one can fly in the open sky. Remember, I've shared with you that there are people on this planet that fly? And Gangaji put it real well. The choiceless truth of who you are is revealed to be permanently here, permeating everything, not a thing, and not separate from anything. It's all one. The universe, you, the drop of the golden ocean. You hold the essence of the golden ocean, you drop in the ocean, you become the ocean. The same with this universe. You're the essence of this universe. You're the universe is you. So, well, one might say, oh, come on, the universe is massive. Look at me. How can I be the universe? Because you contain the same essence as the universe, the God that you are in that body. Photonic light energy. that which does not die, ever. Once you understand energy, because everything's energy, it just appears in different forms, right? But once you understand energy, you can't destroy energy. It takes on different forms. It's just, everything is energy. When you start to embrace that, then it starts to seep in. You realize that everything is you and you're everything. Just like the golden drop into the golden ocean. But we don't see that. It's almost like get involved in something, right? And you're real passionate with it. And you just go off into it. And everything around you, it doesn't exist. It's not there. You're not paying attention to anything. You're focused on that one thing. Maybe it's because you enjoy it so much, you have so much fun with it. You can't wait to do it again because it's so fulfilling for you. And it's like you say to yourself, everybody's talking about all this stuff going on, right? And the other being says, what stuff? And you look at him and go, you don't know what's been going on? Well, I just never thought about getting on the internet, never thought about watching TV, never thought about any of that stuff. I just watch movies. DVD movies, Blu-ray movies, whatever. I usually watch the ones that are Christmas and holiday and really, yeah. So you have no clue what's going on. No. Really have no interest in it. See, here's where, to some that may sound kind of strange, right? Boy, this is a weird person. Right? Your ego mind comes in. But then you step back and go, they're focused on what they want. Period. That's it. And it's simple. It's something as simple as that. I watch, movies. Good, fun movies, uplifting movies, that type of thing. TV, no. Theater, no. Do you get out at all? Do you interact with others? Yeah, I do. How do you converse with other people? Because your perspective is so narrow. Not really, because I operate from a whole different direction. That life is grand, that life is wonderful, and all this entertainment. Shouldn't we be able to pick and choose what we want to be entertained with? We can even entertain ourselves. It's absolutely spectacular. Life is. It's indescribable. How anybody would say they're bored with life, which a lot of people do at one stage or one point stage in their lives. Because why is that? Why are they bored with life? Because they don't know who and what they are, and they don't know about themselves. And when we really put our ears to the train tracks, we can hear everything. It's like you've always, maybe a lot of us have. We take the seashell, put it up to the ear, and the wind, and the acoustics in the shell, and you can hear the ocean. And as a kid, that was great. You pick up a seashell and you listen to it and hear the wind and everything. It's like a whole different world, completely different world. And it was in that, as a kid, it's in that shell. There's a world in that shell. And how do we know there isn't? How do we know that a universe, as vast as we view this one, can fit on the tip of a pin? Size is irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. Now, Of course, when you have a planet, larger the surface, the more you can inhabit that surface. This is why we create smaller planets, we create mid-size, and we create super planets. And it's quite exciting because you realize all the entertainment that we've created on these planets for us. There's just massive amounts of spiritual energy. I mean, everywhere. You walk through it, in it, it saturates you 24/7. We're not always aware of it. Why? Because our minds are so distracted and busy with all those all too important things of this physical world. Okay? How many times you said, I don't have time for that, I got to get this done. It's only when everything stops from some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves and can see, feel, and taste the bigger picture. In a few brief moments, just in that little space, the mind drops its game and we understand how divinely perfect everything is. You ever had that happen? It's not a huge space of time. It's kind of like almost a blink, maybe a little bit more, where you comprehend how divinely perfect everything is in that very moment. The divine perfection of this universe, this universal orchestra, is always on a perfect beat. It's continuously humming along, exploding into even more perfection, especially when we are in a bad mood and cannot see it, how or where it is happening. We are always within the womb of this universal beat, always connected with everyone, everywhere, in every dimension of time and space all the time. When we open ourselves up to this possibility, then each moment we are able to see the real truth. We know how every moment can only be a spiritual merging experience of universal synchronicity in our soul's destiny. You choose to open your mind and heart, to feel the connection with someone you know or would want to know, who is very dead or very alive. Reach out to that wild, free being who is somewhere in this universe. Just do it as an exploration to possibly awaken that same wild, free being within you. Just pick anyone who your heart would have to stretch beyond its normal limitations to open up and connect with them. So it doesn't matter. Whatever it is. That being is somewhere in this universe or other universes. And well, are you connected? Absolutely. So you invite that being into your heart space. And imagine that this individual is here now, fully available to be with you, only you, in this moment. You can drop the doubling skeptical mind by just focusing on the vibration and feeling of trust. Allow your heart to relax into the experience and reach into the emotional connection you most wish to have. And I believe that if you practice this for even a few minutes, you'll be surprised to find out that something magical starts to happen. You may not realize the depth of the magic, which arises initially, yet stay with it, stick with it. For wherever attention goes, energy flows. Whatever experience we have is what was destined to happen. Anything can happen from just this simple intention and practice to break through the limitations of our doubtful, time-bound mind. The inner journey we all have is completely worth it in the end. How long does it take to reach liberation? This is what we're going through. Spiritual liberation. It is not to be gained in the future. It is there forever. Here and now. Realization is for everyone. And realization makes no difference between the aspirants. This very doubt you have, whether you are realized or not, with the notion, I have not realized, are themselves the obstacles to the realization. Be free from these obstacles. See who you truly, truly, truly are. The God. Ramana Maharishi. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on the breath rising and falling. There's one thing that we know as a fact, is that we can trust this universe. You just relax into everything that shows up along the way. Trust and happiness is the natural, sweetest essence of who you are. Does anyone believe that enlightenment could be this easy? Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, September 3, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening inside you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.